You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're not falling behind in your faith. You are unplugged. And no one ever told you that the fix isn't more effort, it's reconnection. There's a lie quietly wrecking believers today, and it sounds so spiritual you'd never suspect it. It says, if you just try harder, pray longer, read more, and push through, you'll finally feel close to God again. But here's the truth nobody preaches from the pulpit. Striving was never the goal. Connection was. So many Christians are running on fumes right now, and they don't even know why. They're doing everything right on the outside, church, quiet time, serving, yet inside they feel dry, tired, and strangely distant from the God they're working so hard to please. If that's you, listen closely, because by the end of this message, you're going to understand exactly why you feel this way, and more importantly, how to stop it. Jesus said something in the Gospel of John that completely dismantles the try harder gospel so many of us were raised on. He said, I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. John 15:4-5. Read that last part again. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Not you'll struggle a little, not it'll be harder, nothing. That word should stop you in your tracks because it means every ounce of striving you've been doing apart from real connection to Christ has been like running an engine with no fuel in the tank. Today, we're going to walk through 6 quiet warning signs that you've drifted from abiding into striving and exactly how to come back home before burnout convinces you that walking away is easier than staying connected. Point 1 begins where most of us secretly live without even realizing it. Point 1, you've replaced relationship with routine. I remember hearing about a young pastor's wife who read her Bible every single morning, prayed over her family, and never missed a service. But one night she broke down and whispered to a friend, I know so much about God, I just don't feel like I know him anymore. She had built a beautiful routine, but somewhere along the way, the routine had quietly replaced the relationship. In Revelation 2:4, Jesus says to the church at Ephesus, But I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had at first. Notice, he doesn't rebuke them for lack of activity. They were working hard, staying busy, doing all the right things. What he grieves is the loss of love, the loss of closeness. That verse is talking about you if your faith has become a checklist instead of a conversation. Routine says, I did my part today. Relationship says, I talked to my Father today. If all you have left is the habit and none of the heart, that's not failure, that's a signal. So today, stop reciting your faith and start speaking to him like he's actually in the room, because he is. Point 2, you've mistaken exhaustion for devotion. Think about Martha in Luke 10. She was in the kitchen, doing everything, cooking, serving, working herself into a frenzy, while her sister Mary simply sat at Jesus' feet. And when Martha finally snapped, exhausted and resentful, Jesus didn't praise her effort. He said gently, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Luke 10:41-42. Many of us have quietly believed that the more tired we are for God, the more we must love him. But Jesus never measured devotion by exhaustion. He measured it by attention. Martha was serving him while missing him completely. If you're running on empty and calling it faithfulness, it's time to put down the tray, sit down, and simply be near him. Devotion was never supposed to drain you. It was supposed to fill you. Point 3, you've started performing for God instead of walking with him. There's an old familiar story of the Pharisee and the tax collector in Luke 18. The Pharisee stood tall in the temple, listing his fasting, his tithing, his righteousness, performing his faith loudly for everyone to witness. But the tax collector stood at a distance, wouldn't even lift his eyes to heaven, and simply said, "God, be merciful to me, a sinner." Luke 18:13. And Jesus said it was the tax collector, not the performer, who went home justified before God. Somewhere along the way, many of us started performing our faith for people instead of walking it out with God. We check if others noticed our prayer, our post, our sacrifice, but God isn't moved by performance. He's moved by humility. So step out of the spotlight you've built for yourself and get quiet enough to simply be honest with Him again. Now let's go deeper, because what I'm about to share next moves from what you've been doing to what's been happening quietly in your heart. Point 4. You've let unspoken bitterness build a wall between you and God. I once heard about a man who prayed faithfully for years, yet felt like his prayers hit the ceiling and bounced back. It wasn't until much later he realized he had never forgiven his father, and that unaddressed wound had quietly closed a door between him and his heavenly Father too. Mark 11:25 says, "And whenever you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heaven may forgive you your sins." That verse isn't about earning forgiveness, it's about clearing the line. Unforgiveness doesn't just poison your relationships with people, it clouds your connection to God, because you cannot hold a closed fist towards someone and an open hand towards heaven at the same time. If you felt distant from God for reasons you can't explain, ask yourself honestly, is there someone you're still holding something against? Release them, not for their sake, for the sake of your own connection to the Father. Point 5. You've been asking God to bless your striving instead of asking Him to change your direction. Think about the Israelites wandering in the wilderness. They kept walking, kept moving, kept surviving, but they were going in circles for 40 years because they were following their own frustration more than God's leading. Numbers 14:33-34 describes an entire generation wearing themselves out in a wilderness of their own making. So many of us are exhausted not because we're doing nothing, but because we're moving in the wrong direction and asking God to bless the circle we keep walking in. Proverbs 3:5-6 says it plainly, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." Stop asking God to speed up your own plan. Start asking Him to redirect it. That single shift from "bless my direction" to "show me yours" is often the difference between years of wandering and walking straight into promise. Point 6, and this is the one that will confront you the deepest. You've quietly stopped believing you're worth pursuing. Somewhere in the striving, in the performing, in the exhaustion, a lie creeps in that God's closeness is something you have to earn back after you failed Him enough times, that you're too far gone, too consistent, too tired to be worth chasing. But Luke 15:20 tells us that a father saw his prodigal son while he was still a long way off and ran to him, not waited for him to crawl home in shame, ran, while the son was still dirty, still unsure, still far off. That's not a God waiting for you to fix yourself before He'll love you again. That's a God who runs while you're still a mess. If you've believed the lie that you have to clean yourself up before you come back to Him, let this be the moment that lie dies. Come as you are, tired and unplugged, because He was already running towards you before you even turned around. Before we close, if that last truth touched something in you, go to the comments right now and simply type, "Father, I'm coming home," not as a performance, as a decision. God bless you, my brother, my sister. Until next time, His word never returns void. It always does what it was sent to do. Until next time, stay abiding, stay believing.